The best kept secrets is really that which is best kept sacred. For all that is hidden has been revealed or is soon to be. O sacred ones, please avoid the traps of zone, animal world, for this is a sacred time for everyone involved. Everyone exists in the animal world of NWPU, but us Nagaru feed our mind, body, spirits, and souls with Wu-Sabat, raising us up the revolutionary ladder, 1,440 degrees, using our compass, the 8-point star, squared with 7 divine lights, imams, also known as seers and prophets. Adam, discipline; Noah, faith; Abraham, sacrifice; Ishmael, firmness; Moses, patience; Isa, forgiveness; Muhammad, death and peace. I now know 8, the 8 Ogdoads, Nun, and Nunet, Hay and Hayhet, Kek and Keket, Amun and Amunet. The 8-point star, which is symbolic of truth, justice, peace, freedom, love, joy, unity, and success. Each cycle, conditions are the same, let it be remembered always and let it be known. In order to cycle to higher degrees of vibration, we must increase our awareness through study and experience. What we expose our minds to through study, will naturally dominate our thoughts. Dominant thoughts attract their relative experiences from the surrounding third dimension. We have the forces of 9 ether on our side. It is a must we utilize the full potential of our minds and creative will. Remember, you know a person's nature by their art. All students of the Master Teacher, Autumn Ray, through creativity, will come together to create new cities of peace, all across the omniverse. Your creativity is electromagnetic medicine, to heal all aspiring solar sapiens and bring in our new revolutionary cycle and stage of creation, the sun cycle. The varied personalities of the student teachers, represents the different degrees or expressions of the whole. When the sciences of opposites, knowledge, laws, powers, and abilities, synchronize, correspond, and intercourse marvelous and wonderful activities, magic, prodigy, creation, miracles, are the consequence, and the results may be seen, semi-seen, or unseen. If it is only semi-seen, then the powers are partially hidden in antimatter. If unseen, then it is totally hidden by Almighty Nature, Nataru. From within, we formed all that which is without. Quintessences of all nature united. Stepping from behind the 9 ball, I know now 9, Ka, the spiritual me, Ku, the mental me, Ka, the physical me, Ba, the soul me, Kabet, the plasmatic me, Ak, the etheric me, Hadi, the physical heart, Ab, the spiritual heart, and Sekhem, the spark of life, which is Father Ray, who is the true light. Isaiah 45:7, I form the light and create darkness, I bring prosperity and create disaster. I, El Netter, do all these things. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be open unto you. But be careful what you wish for, as the ascension is upon us. Black devils are deeply sealed, and have pacts with disagreeable forces of nature called Zeus. Now that the 7th seal has been opened since 1970, 1, as Suhuf, the pure pages, Book of Life, Adam, Book of Sin, Seth, Book of Time, Enoch, and Book of Generations, Abraham. 2, Book of Wisdom, Luqman. 3, Torah Book of the Law, Thutmoses. 4, Az-Zabur, the Psalms, Messiah David. 5, Book of Barnabas, Prophet Barnabas. 6, Al-Injil, the Revelations, John son of Zebedee. 7, Al-Quran, Rasul Muhammad, the 7th seal. All coming from El-Katub Shil El-Ma'ad, the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Giving you all that has been hidden and kept secret, onto full disclosure within El's holy tablets. Now, in the hereafter period, we have the actual facts to guide our Tarak way. As it says in John 8:32, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Sabians will move up in space, matter, and time, and will continue to travel up and revolve with a driving force. To make this happen, you have to have a vehicle or vessels to drive, Ka, the way to your destination. Sabians, star people, solar sapiens, you are significant reincarnate signed by Ray to be here. We are a chain of cause. Our ancestors were born Al-Kami by genetics, simply Nubian Melaninites, and as such they saw that by the utilization of certain raw materials of earth it allowed for the development of metals, foods, materials, fuels etc., as well as ways to develop new substances in order to preserve the planet, as this would allow for the production of new materials and ways of improving our lives without over-harvesting Earth's resources, as you see so-called modern man doing today. These great Al-Kami realized that everything in the universe is made up of elements, which in order to overstand the universe they had to come to fully overstand the very elements of which the living and unliving universe is composed. The sacred records of Autumn Ray 110-375, are there any hidden energies? Yes, each of the elements has hidden qualities or sacred energies vibrating also in tones that reveal latent powers, and by the alchemist's proper use, these elements can be unleashed or molecules altered to create wonderful feats by those linked by blood. However, the Tama-Rayan, ancient African, alchemy went a step further, in that they taught and dealt with the mastery of mental forces instead of just the material, physical, elements. This science called alchemy also addresses those who will say, how can we utilize or control the elements when all members of humanity are the same? To them it teaches that just as each element is different, each member of humanity is also chemically different, in varying degrees of genetic potency, as is each family, race or DNA. With this knowledge in mind, what is interesting when looking at the modern standard of medicine, as far as Nubian melaninites are concerned, does not address your blood chemistry, physical makeup or anatomy, instead it is designed for Caucasus. Knowing this, is also why it is important that we Nagaru decide to put our finances together, within our own homeland, Africa, where we have the ability and opportunity to build hospitals, research labs etc., as this will enable us to delve into our Nubian melaninite body chemistry and the knowledge needed in order to benefit our race for generations to come. Success is achieved by using what we know to produce something of our own, by helping develop our communities into profitable economic neighborhoods, run by Nubian melaninite people. The same as students and graduates of other races do, to a much greater degree than Nagaru in the West. There is nothing wrong with identifying with whatever race or culture you are from, because that's you, be it with your dress, hair, your features or your way of life, and you should not, nor should anyone else make you feel intimidated or inferior because of it. So leave her, oh my kindred, so that you don't become a binder of partners with her in her sins, so that you all will not get her plagues. For her sins have piled on top of each other, so that they have reached right up to Kessel, Orion skies, and the Neteru remember her wrongdoing. The Caucasus culture has been developed and is controlled by the Anakim, that possess far more knowledge than, and are intellectually and technologically superior to humanity. They preserve Caucasus culture in order to protect their own self-interests. Caucasus provide a reliable, compatible food source. Compatible, due to their aggressive, wild, bestial nature. They are negatively charged, hunters and killers by nature. They wish to play God over other beings, as with their overlords. Throughout the cosmos this is the same. The Anakim have many harvest planets. They are identified by their human and or animal sacrificial blood culture. The adherents, or victims, are trapped within a rigid caste system. These Anakim have covertly and profoundly influenced all human cultures and civilizations for millennia. Some of them, the Greys in particular, are part of the earth, and should not be considered foreign. We and the Grey are one and the same race. Far from these creatures being aliens, they are our future descendants, if we're not careful. They have been genetically manipulated by the reptilians, and are completely dependent on their overlords, as Nagaru in the West are completely dependent on Caucasus. Out of all the different types of alien beings that have been in contact with humanity, the Greys are currently the most prevalent in Africa. Those in service to the Anak reptilians are troublesome and parasitic. They instill superstition, sow discord, and even cause disease. There are also those in service to our Neteru, such as Commander Krill, whose allies are fighting to free their kind from the yoke of the Anakim. They are scientists, who in times past visited and mixed with our Ta'id ancestors. They taught that the earth is very much alive, thereby Ptah Noon has a direct effect on the physical composition of all members of humanity in varying degrees of genetic potency. The reason for this is because the very physical body or bacteria which make up your flesh are composed of the actual elements, nutrients, chemicals and components of the soil, dust, of the earth. Put another way, the earth is composed of 99 base or prime elements, and your body is also made up of these same elements. Thus you are not just an entity living on earth, but more importantly you are an entity made up of the very components of earth, which makes each of you a part of this planet. The 99 Neteru, guardian descendants and guardian ancestors, are symbolic of the 99 natural elements, principles and base precepts of Mother Nature, which they are responsible for birthing, uncovering and utilizing. All members of humanity, especially those of the Nubian Melaninite family, need to be made aware that your heritage and genes are unique. As direct relatives of the Alchemy must learn to be the best in all endeavors which you were created to be involved in by your genetic parents. As a result, you will and must develop the willingness to research and investigate your story, genes, music etc. Simply the Tama-Rayan, ancient African, realities, because members of humanity can no longer say you don't have time, but instead must create the time, which is necessary in order to know who you were, your past, where you are, your present, which has created much misinformation about Nubian Melaninite genes, sciences and cultures. There is a difference in our genealogy as far as hemoglobin is concerned, and with this in mind it is clear that this difference in each person's blood composition and the content of our respective blood sets a genetic standard for each group of people. For some, it makes them a beast, others a human beast, and even others a guardian, netter. Those of the guardian mentality have the ability to solarize and ascend, to be of the Etherians, light beings, as a solar sapien. Guardians are not here to rule, but to serve. For life is the mirror of ruler and servant. Just what are you and what do you do? Then give to the world the best you have, and the best will be returned. There is an old saying that states, "He profits most who serves best." Just look around you in this day and time. What businesses are going ahead? What people are making the big success, making their big mark or impression on the lives of others? Look at successful people like Oprah Winfrey, when she introduced the world to a new thought-provoking and heartfelt television program named The Big Give. Look at all the people and companies popping up everywhere looking to develop alternative methods to better help serve humanity and Mother Nature as a whole. Everybody is going green. The law of attraction is service. We receive in proportion as we give out. In fact, we usually receive in far greater proportion. Cast thy bread upon the waters and it will return to you 100-fold. In back of everything is the immutable law of the universe, that what you are is but the effect. Your thoughts are the causes. The only way you can change the effect is by first changing the cause. Realize now that universal mind expresses itself largely through each individual. It is continually seeking an outlet. It is like a vast reservoir of water, constantly replenished by fresh hot springs, gushing forth with life and excitement. Open a channel to it and the water will flow in ever-increasing volume. In the same way, when you open up a channel of service by which the universal mind can express itself through you, its gifts will flow in ever-increasing volume and you will be enriched in the process. By opening up a channel between universal supply and human needs, by doing your neighbors or your friends or your customers service, you are bound to profit yourself. The wider you open your channel, the greater service you give, or the better values you offer, more things are bound to flow through your channel, so the more you are going to profit. But you must use your talent or talents if you want to profit from it. It matters not how small your service, using it will make it greater. You don't have to retire to a monastery and pray, or go on a retreat to some far-off land. Do not be selfish and deny your talents and gifts you were born with from the world. The world is waiting to hear from you. The world is waiting to feel you, to feel your heartfelt warmth and joy. Now is the time, you've got to do something, to use the talents nature, God, the Most High, has given to you, to make the world a better place. Talent means the natural endowments of a person. We are now living in the time where the latent powers and abilities in Nagaru are starting to surface. There are two new driving forces facing our people all around the world, and these two driving forces are inspiration and desperation. The law in nature that Nagaru are feeling now, deep down inside of their own being, is the feeling of human survival or self-preservation. In feeling these types of emotions, it is causing us as a whole to tap into new hidden latent abilities never before discovered. People are starting to be inspired with fresh new ideas. Talents they never knew they had are starting to come to the surface. We are living in the golden cycle of Re, the sun cycle, also known as the solar cycle of Re, Ra. Whenever the sun cycle comes in, it always brings out the truth and only the truth in people, whatever you are by nature. In many West African countries, they have what is termed a birthing or rebirthing ceremony, where the initiate is buried in a mud pit from neck down, and this pit is a heated pit, which is a symbol of purification. This same ceremony is also seen amongst our Native America brothers and sisters when constructing a sweat lodge. Inside the sweat lodge they have heated lava rocks, and you are enclosed in what looks like symbolically a tortoise shell, which is the symbol of the womb of your mother. The lava rocks are called your grandmother and grandfather, symbolic of the oldest forms of life on the planet, so the energy that is released within these hot rocks hold the spirits of the ancients. This same process of sweat lodges today in modern days are seen in fitness centers around the world called saunas, and in certain sacred sites in other parts of the world like Japan, you will find hot springs, also in places like Honduras, Peru, and countries in Africa. All around the world in sacred ceremonies, the element of fire, heat, burning has always been used to bring out all impurities, and to cleanse the mind, ku, body, ka, spirit, ka, and soul, ba. Well, in this day and time, planet Earth, Pata Noon, is going through a global purification. Nature and universal laws are calling for the best to come out of people, and asking deep within each being to only align with the best qualities of your own nature. This is where your talents come in. We are living in the day and time where nature brings out what you truly are by nature. Now is the time to align yourself with your talents in order to experience true happiness that nature has to give. Become what you are naturally created to be. Your talents are very important in this day and time. It sets you aside from the rest, because only you can do what you are naturally created to do, so there is no competition. Use your talents to serve humanity in the positive, and you will only attract and receive positive in return. Remember the parable of the talents in the New Testament in the Bible. You know what happened to the man who went off and hid his talent, whereas those who made use of theirs were given charge over many things. The only right is to use all the forces of good. The only wrong is to neglect or to abuse them. You shall love the Most High your God. This is the first and the greatest commandments. You shall show your love by using to the best possible advantage the good things, the talents of the parable, that was placed in your hands. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Thou shalt not abuse the good things that have been provided you in such a negative way, by using them against your neighbor. Instead, you shall treat your neighbor with love, as you would love to be treated. You shall use the good you naturally have for the benefit and advantage of all. Whosoever shall be great among you, said Yeshua Jesus, shall be your minister, and whosoever of you will be chief, shall be servant of all. In other words, if you would be great, you must serve. And he who serves most shall be greatest of all. Look around you now. How can you give greater value for what you get? How can you serve better? Remember that whatever energy you put into any situation is setting you up for the next step in life. How many times have you learned multiple things on your previous or even current jobs, only to realize the value of what you learned did not come to your conscious awareness until you moved on to another type of work or profession? Think about this. When you give to anybody's service in all its many forms, you receive the benefit to yourself. When you give more service, you shall get back more benefits. When you give a great deal more, you shall get back a great deal more. Do you see the pattern here? When you plant, let's say, a banana tree, pawpaw papaya tree, or even a bushel of potatoes, you get back 30 or even 40 potatoes, just off one bushel. The same with the banana tree and pawpaw papaya tree. Do you see the law of infinite supply at work? When we pay attention to nature, Netaru, we learn Al-Pa'ut.